All right, now to give us more perspective in terms of how this trade war is in fact playing out, we joined this broadcast by Dr. Volker Stanzel, who's a former German ambassador to China and also a senior distinguished fellow at the SWP in the German Institute for International and Security Affairs. He's joining us live on this broadcast from Berlin. Ambassador Stanzel, thank you very much indeed, sir, for joining us here on WION. And let me start off by asking you this. No one expected this trade war to play out in the manner that it is doing. It is being dubbed as chaos and uncertainty all over. But are you surprised by the Chinese reaction, who seem to be more willing to take the Americans head on in the tariff war, matching them tariff for tariff, person to person, and also in the manner in which they've gone about and also, reportedly asked the Chinese airlines to halt taking deliveries of jets manufactured by Boeing? Are you surprised by the Chinese response?
I'm quite surprised by the speed and how well planned the Chinese response is. I'm less surprised by the Chinese attitude, which obviously, if you compare it to the capricious policies pursued by Donald Trump, looks very different. And it starts from a very different point of departure. It's a point of attitude, I would say. Xi Jinping has spoken of the Korean War, a war into which China went against all odds and where it lost about 300,000 lives, but it stood steadfast. And that, for Xi Jinping, is a model to follow. He also spoke, that's 3 years ago, to China's youth of the need in times of economic problems to learn to eat bitterness. Again, the same kind of attitude. If things go bad, you have to stand steadfast. And that is what China is presenting us with now. That kind of attitude, which, as I said before, is a great difference to the attitude that we see from Donald Trump.
And also, since Donald Trump announced his tariff award, do you think there's been a change or a softening of stance on his part, where he's now exempted the big tech and these electronics companies from China in terms of the tariffs that he wants to impose? Do you think Donald Trump is beginning to recognize what he has done, where he perhaps hopes that the Chinese will reach out to him for some kind of negotiations, but will the Chinese reach out to the Americans, or do you think it is the Americans who will have to reach out for some kind of a deal?
I think Donald Trump, and he has said as much, wants the Chinese to give in. He wants Xi Jinping to be the first to call him, not he himself calling Xi Jinping, while the Chinese attitude is quite clearly, we will not be the ones to give in and to be the first to call. Now, has Donald Trump changed his outlook on the whole situation? I think it's extremely difficult to know what's going on in the head of the present president of the United States. But what is clear is that among his advisors, there are many different opinions. And there were already some verbal clashes between his advisors in trying to explain what is going on and what should be done. And to which advisor Donald Trump listens may change from day to day. We don't know that. But I think overall, the development is quite clear. Otherwise, he wouldn't have reduced the tariffs for 90 days again. And now is threatening to raise them afterwards even more, because he himself is looking for a way to reach the objective that he started to begin with, which is to get other countries, mainly, of course, the major opponent, which is China, to give in and give more money to allow America to make more money, which is the tariffs.
Right.
Donald Trump thinks you, as a country, you need to earn money, and the only way to do that is by raising tariffs.
Interesting. Thank you very much indeed, Ambassador Stanzel, for joining us with that perspective there.
You're welcome.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.